All right, welcome back to Profit Path. Today's market saw a strong rally from Alibaba, while AI leaders like Nvidia faced some cooling. Let's break it down. If you haven't already, hit subscribe for clear, daily stock market insights. First up, let's check out the futures. US futures held steady as investors reacted to trade news that signaled easing cost pressures for importers. This supported positive sentiment across multiple sectors heading into the week. Now let's dive into some stock movers. Alibaba stock surged over 10%, boosted by fresh optimism around its technology strategy and expansion into new areas including AI development. This sharp move comes after a two-day slump sparked by a proposed revamp of Hong Kong's listing rules, which initially spooked investors. However, the negative sentiment quickly faded, allowing Alibaba to reclaim its position as one of the biggest gainers for the session. By contrast, some AI-related names cooled after recent rallies. Nvidia, AMD, and other semiconductor peers saw modest declines as traders booked profits. This follows Nvidia's stellar run this year, where its market cap soared past the $1 trillion mark, making it one of only 5 US companies to achieve this milestone. The stock's impressive performance was driven by strong earnings reports and an upbeat forecast that highlighted robust demand across key industries, from gaming to data centers. In other earnings news, Tesla also moved lower. The electric car maker reported robust deliveries in China for August, but the figures fell short of estimates. This adds to a string of recent misses and signals potential demand weakness in China and Europe. The stock's trajectory will likely hinge on how Tesla navigates these challenges and communicates its strategies to investors. Moving on, airline and travel stocks showed a mixed performance. United Airlines and Carnival Corp both reported better than expected quarterly earnings and raised their full-year outlooks. Their shares rallied on this news, with United Airlines stock soaring over 8% and Carnival Corp climbing nearly 5%. Meanwhile, American Airlines and Southwest Airlines bucked the trend with losses after they trimmed their schedules due to ongoing pilot contract negotiations. This cautious approach reflects the airline industry's sensitivity to labor costs and how these negotiations could impact profitability. Financials and energy names held relatively firm, providing some balance to today's session. Bank of America stock rose about 1% after it agreed to pay $125 million to settle a probe into its sales practices. This legal tussle highlights the strict regulatory environment in the banking sector and how compliance will continue to shape financial institutions' strategies. In the energy space, Chevron and ConocoPhillips both inched up by around 1% as oil prices stayed. The slight uptick in energy could be attributed to bargain hunting after recent price drops, and as some investors see value in these large caps. All right, let's take a quick look at the indexes. The Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 both ended the day with modest gains around 0.3%. The Nasdaq Composite also edged up by 0.2%. All three indexes remain near record levels, suggesting that investors are still optimistic about the economy's resilience despite some recent wobbles. All right, now let's turn to the top sectors for the day. For gainers, we saw healthcare and consumer discretionary leading the charge with increases of nearly 1%. These sectors reflect a continued focus on growth and innovation, even as some tech giants like Nvidia take a breather. On the other hand, the biggest losers were communication services and technology, with drops of around 4.5%. This pullback in tech stocks could be seen as a rotation out of the sector, as some investors may be re-evaluating their tech exposure after the recent rally. All right, now let's switch gears and talk about the top 3 market movers. Alibaba's stock took the top spot, followed closely by Nvidia and Tesla. These stocks collectively represent the tug-of-war between traditional tech giants and AI darlings. As Alibaba makes its play for AI dominance, Nvidia and Tesla navigate their own challenges and opportunities in this rapidly evolving landscape. Alright, what are my thoughts? Overall, the major indexes remain near record levels. Despite today's modest gains, analysts suggest that investors are closely watching whether AI stocks can regain momentum and how upcoming data like the monthly jobs report on Friday may shape September's trading. Some market participants are even debating whether we are seeing a shift away from last year's AI euphoria towards more traditional value stocks. But others argue that recent dips in AI-related shares present a good buying opportunity. Alright, that's all I got. Do you think this shift is temporary, or will tech take a backseat to other sectors? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Profit Path for more daily market updates. Thanks for tuning in. See you back here tomorrow.